Hey out there, of those folks that are tuning in to Horrors of History. I am the one and only Rendrag Selak, and here I am inside the cemetery of Exeter for the infamous Mercy Brown's burial spot. And if you don't know the story about it, I'll give you a little rundown so I don't give you the whole thing because that'll take up some time. But the end story ends up with it being with a lot of superstition would cause a lot of issues to this poor young woman. It baffles my mind to think that in the late 1890s that stuff like vampirism and stuff was still really hot on people's ideas, especially when modern science is starting to ramp up at its best in the 1890s. We're starting to see some medicine involved. We're starting to see inventions involved, like Thomas Edison's and everything. And it just blows my mind a little bit, the fact that was going on. I am a little disturbed right now. I'm looking over here, and as you guys can see, thank God it's bricked up. I'm really happy for that. But some idiots were trying to get inside the old cold storage. Now, as I get to that, one of the reasons I pulled that structure up, part of it was to basically tell you guys, like, one of the issues that Mercy had is when they were going to intern her into the ground. It was too cold for them to do that. And in New England, there are certain times, still today, that you can't bury people. The ground gets frozen. And the area that she was in the time period, this area was much colder than what it is now. It's not nearly as cold as it was back then. Now, because of that, they can't put her in the ground yet. And, well, that's disturbing. When that was being done, of course, when they finally start to put her in there after having her heart taken out of her chest to be used as an ailment for her brother Edwin, who I took a picture of, who had tuberculosis, but they thought the superstition that there was some sort of vampirism going around. I don't know all the bells and whistles to hook into that, but the vampirism, I mean, it's ridiculous to get into that. But the heart was to cure the disease. And of course, that didn't do it, and Edwin did end up dying anyways. He would have probably been better off if he had stayed out in Colorado when they sent him out there the first time. Because there is something about the minerals and the air out there that was healing. Not for everybody, but for some. Maybe it was the fact that, maybe their body's immune system was able to do what they had to do out there. Or maybe their immune system was just stronger than others to combat that. Don't know. But the end story is, they used to think, like, after digging her up, to use that heart as the ash when they did, because she still had signs of looking like her hair growing, which was very big, much superstition, was the skin going back, and she still had a very pale, beautiful complexity to her skin, almost lifelike. And I've seen photos of her in the paper, and she was gorgeous. Even after a couple months, she still had that almost like young, beautiful skin tone that a 19-year-old would have had. So there pops in the idea of the vampirism, and some horrible things would be done to her body to make sure that she wouldn't come back. Later on in the years, teenagers, stories, people are stupid, they really are, would come here and defile her graveyard, dig her up, mess with her. So they actually, at one point in time, had to kind of keep her off grid for a little bit before they could put her back to where she was supposed to be. And they ended up cementing her, not only her coffin shut, but they put a rebar going down from her headstone to the coffin to make it hard to get out of there. So vandals couldn't grab that. Now, if you're going to come to this cemetery and visit Mercy, I don't blame you to say, the piece that you need to her, because I think all the sympathy and all the apologies for idiots goes a long way, and maybe that factor is causing her, all that has caused her to go to the other side. every time I've come here to do paranormal investigations, as a young lad, even recently, I tend to stay away from her spot. One of the reasons I do is I want to respect her privacy. I want to respect the fact that she has been defiled a lot, and let her rest in peace, as it says. Let her cross over, be wherever she's at without someone messing with her. She's already had enough people do that. Now, if you come here and you want to do some investigations, I'm going to tell you this right now. It's not really so much over by her that's got an issue. But as I walked back in the corner over by the tree there was a young lad, probably in my 20s. I see a rabbit right now. And I was in there with who I thought was a friend, Josh Lassard. And as I was recording, now this is on a VHC, we start to hear a very loud white noise come across. And I got knocked down the hill. I could feel hands go up right behind me and shove me down the hill. At first I looked around to see if it was a root on the ground that had tripped me. It wasn't a root, like maybe I was being careless. And of course I asked my friend if he was playing tricks on me, and of course he didn't. And then we go back and play the VHC tape, and you can actually hear static, like I said, white noise, as I'm shoved to the ground. So that's probably the most paranormal stuff I've ever gotten here. Otherwise, this area is quiet. Cemeteries are okay to hit that stuff, but they're not all active. The one that I go to in Coventry, the Pine Grove Cemetery, that one is highly active, and for other reasons, not just, because a lot of times I like to think, I don't know if this is personally true, that that's just a shell down there, and there's got to be other reasons for spirits sticking around, whether someone was summoning it, messing with that area to the point where whatever powers that be have given this spirit permission to come down and cause havoc onto the people that are causing havoc onto them. It's possible. We don't know. But in the end game, like I said, not really too much over here. Is the family. I'm going to show you guys. What's funny is I don't know if Edwin served, but he's got an American flag on his area. I'm going to have to go check that out. Maybe look into his service records. I don't think so. I think he was way too young, so I don't know why that flag is on his marker. I think someone might have just put it there in regards, but I'll have to check that out. Now you can see a lot of the ants on this tree and all over that headstone too. So maybe I got the wrong name. Maybe it wasn't Edward, but maybe Edwin was the one. I don't think so. Got a couple other Mercies over here as well in this spot. And well, not Mercies, Browns over here. And I don't want to record it because it is sad. I was walking by, and I'm probably going to tell the caretaker, but there's one of the graves. Looks like someone was messing with it, trying to dig it up. That's sad. And I don't want to get into too much details of the grave that they're digging up, but it's horrible. It really is. Those type of people, they got a special place that's waiting for them, whether it's hell or the afterlife. Through Anubis, there's just something waiting for those guys. Now, before I end this video and I go to the next spot, which will be the other one accused of vampirism, Nellie Vaughn, to set something straight, a lot of people set back and they say that this highway that I was on, 102, is named Vampire Highway. That is actually a false fact. It was not named Vampire Highway until the 1980s, late 1980s. The highway is originally named Victory Highway, and one of the reasons it's called Victory Highway is after World War II, for a celebration, the soldiers marched back on that road all the way down. That's why it's called Victory Highway. But I'm going to make a step. I'm going to go see if I can find someone, a church person, to see if I can report the fact that someone's digging up a plot over there. All right, guys, Rendrag Selak out, and hopefully I'll be able to record at the next spot because it's getting close to sundown.